Hi everyone. All right, welcome to this place, whether you just arrived or if you've been here a while. So we have 3 piles. I've been enjoying these. You know, it gives you a power of choice. You can take it as one long reading if you want. Sometimes there's these separate stories within, but as with all pick a cards, there's a suggestion that you can make this about whatever you want. But it seems to be that there was a little undercurrent of what is being created right now. I feel like a few of our pick a cards recently have been a bit about this, right? Like, what are we creating? And I guess that's a good question to ask, right? Now we do have 3 colors here. If you're just listening, we have yellow, green, and like a purple sort of fuchsia color. These each have words on them as well. Maybe this, I was feeling like before we jumped in here, let's see if you can see this. Can you read that? Yeah. This pile particularly has this yellow card. It says determination on it. There's a mountain with a big sunrise. So maybe if that's something you're curious about, or if you're drawn to that word or that color. Then we have a green card, very bright green, like it's kind of a new green. And this card says movement, which is really beautiful. And the last one, I'm assuming a lot of people will pick this, maybe because of the image or the word, but we have this fuchsia purple color and it says magic. So I do feel like there's a little bit, there's going to be, maybe we'll touch in because it's shown us, it's given us a little bit of an indication that, you know, we'll tap in here. Obviously, determination is important to pile 1. Movement is important to pile 2. And there's something about magic, something magical with pile 3. I heard, of course, there's magic in everything, but we're going to go left to right. So let's start with number 1. Let's see, what are we at? It was like 222 averagely. Okay. So, first card, pile number 1. Again, we have, kind of want to be like sitting up really straight. So we have determination. It's beautiful. This just reminded me of like a Leo, Capricorn kind of positive connection here. So we have determination. Put that in the center. Got it. So what's the second card? Ooh, the dancer, which is about self-expression and strength. It's beautiful. Oh, blackboard. So maybe some kind of, something's been cleared, right? Something's been becoming stronger in the heart also. Someone's becoming more confident in something that they're not afraid to like let go or to start afresh. So I heard going back to basics. Okay, and then we have the olive grove, which that takes a very long time to grow, right? To produce fruit. Okay, we have wind chimes, which is peace and harmony. That's beautiful. Let's put that with the oak, with the olive grove. Resilience. I feel like that's suiting to determination. Ah, and the Knight of Wands. Okay. Give me a second. Give me a second to tune in pile number 1. So something's been bending, right? Something's been like, how to explain this? It's as if someone realized that like, okay, this is something. This is something. Now, if I participate with that something, right? The question again, what are we creating? It goes back into, what am I creating with? Is a big factor in what is being created. And I just heard the sound of like crystal bells. What do they say? Did you hear me? Clear as crystal. Ding, right? There's no interference there. It's very fluid, like this ribbon. It's like it can move. It can almost seem like something maybe that was very still, or something that didn't, it needed participation to make it move. You know, it needed participation to make it move. And if we take this dancer energy, you know, sometimes it takes a long time to find the rhythm, you know, to be comfortable in the steps. And seemingly a person found this process of creation very, I'm seeing this particularly keeps catching my eye, this infinity symbol. It's like, maybe this is something that's been being worked on for a while. And now, again, it's like something about that is changing shape. It's like a person knows where to hang on and where to get a good grasp on something and like hold the position, like to hold it, and then where it is, where you want to let it go. In ways of creating more movement, right? Then we move into this determination and resilience. I feel like these are right in a line. These also remind me of little mountains. So these mountains here, if we take it this way, are very sharp, right? There's like many, because I'm seeing resilience also as resistance at some point, right? This is, okay, now I'm seeing this like when you want to learn karate. Right, you work into these different colored belts. I don't know what a red belt means, but someone's wanting to go to the next stage of something, but as you move up the levels, as you move up the mountain, then it may be that there's less to do, but those to-dos are very specific, right? Now, I see a person has the ability to be like, I want to be better at this. It's almost like, okay, someone trying to do something, they can't do it, they'll try again. You know, they're not willing. This is not someone who's willing to give up on something. But there may need to be, it depends where you're at, because there could be a little bit of a need in ways of working through this mountainous energy that you know, sometimes when there is advancement, going back, didn't we say this, like going back to basics may actually help, you know, like understanding again, like where something came from. Maybe that's a part of it. Because it helps a person to realize what they're working with, right? Which then will again determine what it is that is being created. There's self-expression again. So I suppose this has a bit of an independent energy to it with the Knight of Wands. But as it moves forward, the olive grove is not singular, right? The wind chimes are not singular. So maybe that's something to be mindful of in ways of whatever you are creating with, is that it's meant to be something that's created with other people. Now, I suppose if there's anything in ways of because this could have been something that was quite tangled before. Again, maybe there was a bit of resistance in ways of, okay, I want to do this, but this is knotted up. I have to unknot this. I have to figure out the fullness of, again, what is being worked with to, and I heard in separating the different parts to be able to realize, okay, what is it really that it's needed to make this happen? And there could be some simplification with the way the mountains are moving, and then moving up into this blackboard energy, because this blackboard, it's clean, right? It's a clean slate. So there actually could be some expression, that some creativity. This feels very creative to me. This creative energy that's actually, you know, it's some way or another starting from scratch, or going at least back to the beginning of something, the basics of something, is going to help some sort of new inspiration come, right? Maybe something, it's almost like something gains, it starts to like become more alive, right? It starts moving again, because, yeah, let's leave it like that. Because there's a self-motivation here, but there is a teacher involved in this situation. Like, there's still others involved in this, but it's like a person had to tell themselves first and foremost, like, again, I want to create this. I have this to work with. It's like there was a conscious, again, awareness around it. And I feel like a person sat with something for a while. You know, maybe there was a time where it was hard for those of you here to express yourselves, you know, or there was something about where there was something that really tested a person's strength, you know, in holding maybe composure, you know, having composure, being able to bite your tongue, being able to be mature in that way, right? Maybe there was even a need to recognize like what a person could handle, and where perhaps they need others to help them along. Now, anywhere where there's new energy, because this is growing, like this is growing, this is super steady. There's already something you're creating that's like really beautiful. It's an amazing expression of you. It is one of your strengths. It's something you probably do more regularly or not. Like I heard it's sort of in some way or another like always sort of been a part of you. Even though you may have not believed in it. And even at times you may question it now, but you're actually very, very, someone here is very, very good at something. Now, there's also something new that comes through here that's very inspiring. Again, it's like where all of a sudden a black and white TV turns color. You know, it's like you can see, you're like, oh, it's beyond just these shades, but it's almost like it needed to be like that. In some way, again, this simplification, right? To make yellow is a primary color, right? So there's something that's, well, I heard primal about this. Now, depending on what you mix this with, right? Say you mix it with something else that is very primary, that is part of the fundamental, like, base of something. If we mix it with red, we're going to make, if we mix it with red, then we're going to make orange, right? If we mix it with blue, we're going to make green. Maybe what color do you see after this in your eye, in your mind's eye? Like, what comes to you after yellow? What's the next color to you? Okay. There is some sort of new, again, let's go over this. There's new energy here that's really beautiful. It's like someone's willing to try something new, you know? It could be an expansion upon something. It could be doing the same kind of thing in a different way. It could be continuing to do the thing that you're really, that's again, you've been working on, that is something that's becoming more solid. and expanding and being like, okay, let me make another branch, right? Let me go to this other peak and see what's a part of this, what's the range of it. And I really love, there must be something, this olive grove and the wind chimes is so beautiful to me. Again, this is peace and harmony. Sometimes a grove to me, because they take so long, like so many generations, right, for them to really be fully developed. I almost feel like there's some ancestral energy here too, or some kind of guide, or there's support coming from other places outside of you that may not be human, if that makes sense. And I feel these being very peaceful. And I guess that if there was anything that was destructive in ways of your creation, or like that was interfering with the path, I feel like that gets cleared out in some kind of way. It could be a person or people. It could be an energy. It's like that which was like kind of toxic. Also, there's something here where like Saturn was the Saturn and Sun was protecting someone. So, I guess this is whatever has been being built in a pure way from someone's heart, you know. I mean, they may have wanted to do it and had some kind of ego in it, but because that's where that comes from. But it had more purity than not, right? It was more of like a person testing themselves versus trying to prove it to someone else, right? Now again, if you're a solo dancer a lot, let's take, I keep seeing one person dancing. And again, there's some kind of class energy too, where it ends up being more people around this person, you know, and there is a guide within that's helping to kind of like direct those who want to learn. Now, again, as this moves forward, olive groves are very rooted. You know, they have beautifully, everything about an olive grove is beautiful. So, peace and harmony and beauty. If some of you have been trying, wherever you've been trying so hard, again, it's like, I feel like you're going to be rewarded for that, but there may need to be some kind of movement or shift. I don't know if it's of energy, again, or people, or a place, where something has to also start new for this energy to become something fuller. And this wind chime keeps catching my eye. Huh. Let's see if there's anything else. As mountains are sort of stiff and the dancer is very fluid, and Knight of Wands sort of represents movement. Again, the wind chimes are movement. This dancer is movement, but like the olive grove and the mountains are very stable. So there's almost like there's a balance of movement and stability, fluidity and stability. And wherever there's, again, new energy, it's like a person's so happy. You know, I guess this could kind of feel, for some folks, this could go all the way into kind of feeling like, whoa, this is a new life, or like, whoa, this could be a very big new, like a big step. But it's not as if this is coming out of nowhere, as if, again, someone wasn't in the class, they've already been practicing. So that's, I guess that's something to be known here. There's a lot of ambition for and bravery around the newness, but Again, if you've been practicing something, if you've been putting a lot of time, I'm talking about years of effort, right? Please, I wouldn't suggest to scrap anything because you're frustrated if you're in a kind of creative funk, or like in a little bit of a funk with what you're creating. Remember to go back to, what am I creating with? That will help you to determine maybe if there's something that you're wanting to create that isn't doing it. And with creation, remember, there's resting periods, right, that are needed. So don't scrap anything, because again, I see there's support, and I feel like this green card will be a little bit helpful. This energy keeps coming, right? And I heard, think about all that has come before you, you know, the past maybe, in general, and like where you are now, because well, I just saw a tree uprooting itself and like starting to walk, you know, and like it's like something finding its own rhythm, or like finding its own space. Okay. Wow, these are interesting together. Cool. Oh, I love trying something new with the same pieces, you know. Oh, 1 second. We need some power before we can move forward. Oh, is that gonna work? Just a minute. Oops, sorry. 1 second. Little precarious. Is that right? Okay. So now we have number 2. Actually, do you mind if we wait a few seconds? I want to do 22. I'm liking these numbers today. So what are we creating? What are we creating? All right, pile number 2. Hi. Okay, so you chose green, or the card of movement, whatever felt best to you. I like that. So, I feel like these are moving up. I feel like those are moving up. Let's see the next card. It is well. Can you see that? It is well. Very good. So the movement, it is well. Ah, and by the fireplace. Can you see that okay? By the fireplace. So something's warm, right? This movement is the water's clean. It's like someone cleared a bunch of trees. You know what I mean? They cleared space here. They cleared space. This took a lot of hard work here too. Then it's like they dug a well, right? They're like, okay, we need this space. We need this. We got to clear this out because I want to make this here. But this is the clearing. Then it's idea, clearing, and then idea again. And I heard, let's follow the plan. Then it's someone like digs a well, right? Because they realize, okay, I need this too. To be here and to create this, this is needed. This is needed. It's like, I heard step 1, step 2. Then all of a sudden, this fireplace is seeming so comfortable to me. It's like a very, it is well by the fireplace. Right? Something, again, this is water and then fire. It's like this is also, something's becoming warmer in what someone's also creating in their heart. I heard heart, hearth, and home. Okay, we have the bell. Let's see if I can fix this lighting a little. Sorry. Is that any better? We have the bell. Kind of hard. I can't see what I'm doing. The bell. Okay. It is well, the bell. I feel like we talked, did we mention this before? These crystal bells. So this is the card of announcement. Let's see this next one. Oh, interesting. All right, we have the assassin. We have the assassin, which represents ruthlessness or conviction. Then we have the card of purpose and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so just a minute, please. You see this okay? I feel like someone wants to try to sabotage what someone's trying to do because they're jealous. It's like someone has very negative, how do I see this? Okay, look, the way we talked about this in the beginning, right? It was like, okay, here's this idea. A person has done a lot of hard work. They've done a lot of clearing. This is green. It's in your heart chakra, right? Then it moves up into this, again, creating the well. This could be like a Taurus Scorpio thing. So it's going, it's also going deep into something and clearing out emotionally also. And this was part of the purpose. Now with this bell, I feel like it's time for something. So wherever you, okay, whoever has done this work in themselves, let's take it kind of metaphysically here for a second. Those who have done this work in themselves, where the choices that have been made actually have created this movement towards feeling more purposeful in life. Right, and they know that that is well, that is something. It's like this could be like a calling for some people. Like maybe they finally like find their calling, or they find more of their, again, like purpose in the world. It doesn't have to have a certain definition. It's more, again, of like a feeling in the heart of being like, well, you know, it is, yes, it's time for this, or like, yes, I heard it is my time to shine, or you know, it is time for me to move again to this new space. And I could see that there's some energy over here. This seems separate to me right now. So let's take it that way, where there very well could be, again, negativity. I don't know if this is coming from yourself and what you could achieve, or I also see this as someone else being like, oh no, you can't do that. Or it's like, well, why would you even do that? That's an awful idea. Like it's this trying to make a person question themselves, or trying to make a person like feel bad for feeling good. That could be over here, could be a little bit of misery loves company, because it's not that this energy is like perfect, like it's all done and all completed, but this is like, it's pretty contented to be here. And there's something about whatever has been moving in a positive way, where there's been movement towards more love, where there's been movement towards that which you connect with, it like resonates with you. You know what I mean? It's not like everything has to match, but like it feels right. It's like, that's not, I heard that's not a warning bell. That is a time for lunch, you know, dinner time. It's like a person understands what something means now. And I could feel like over here that someone doesn't like, someone's mean over here, I guess is the point. I don't, let's try to choose a card on that. Just a second. Well, why are we giving the thing that doesn't want the happy to continue or grow that much attention? I guess that's a good question. Let's see how to make good boundaries. Let's change the question. Like, let's change the way we're going to... Okay, say this exists over here, right? This exists and that exists. And I feel like that which is in the negative, if you will, is not something in this kind of negative. This isn't just shadow. This is like kind of dark here. It's like it wants to be, because ruthlessness with fireplace, Knight of Swords is really, it's really harsh. It's really harsh. So... And this is actually like very soft and it's comfortable, but it's sensitive sometimes. So it needs boundaries from this kind of energy, because someone's really going up. They're elevating into you know, this is where a person, this is energy that has been this has good correction. Okay, so again, I heard someone could be jealous of your direction in ways of growth. So you have to watch that. Let's see how to make boundaries with this energy. Death and the Eight of Swords. Okay, these are both sort of scorpionic energy. We also have a skull here. I guess we are in Scorpio time when I'm recording this. Five of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. Okay, let's remember something. When someone tries to throw shade on someone's light, especially if it comes out in words, like, I don't really want to make a specific example because, well, I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can explain this differently. What was the initial question? How can we make boundaries with this? Well, maybe they're literally with death and the skull and all this negative, because the knight can be a literal person. Maybe there's something where if there's any kind of... Because I feel like whatever this situation is not something that's unknown. This is a person that someone knows. They might even have known them for a long time, this kind of... Whatever this negativity is. But with death, it's like, okay, well, it's the end of that cycle, right? But it may be hard for some folks to make correct boundaries, because what comes after death is like between a rock and a hard place, and then there's another test after that, then there's another test after that, then you're free. Then there's a little bit of a test, and then you're home free. So I don't know how many tests that was. Was that 4? Yes. And then we have Moon. You know, this could be a family member. I don't know. Could be your own mother. Could be your children. So point is that what was the initial intention? What are we creating? Well, apparently a person is moving away from this kind of energy, this negativity, any kind of like verbal abuse or like, because this could be sort of covert negativity also, where you don't even realize that a person is like trying to trick you. Do you know what I mean? but it can get into someone, and it like loops really hard, this negative talk. Because I could almost see this. I don't usually see this. It's kind of creepy, and I don't like that it's pulling me in, but maybe it's just because we're in Scorpio season. But like, and we'll go back into the light of it, but this could be where people like use magic the wrong way over here. It's like a sideways mountain. It's like they don't have integrity in what they're doing, and it's kind of like they could be bending more into the shadow than they are into the light. Now, if we take this, because this is kind of what's happening, is something, if we take this death and move it over here, then what happens is the soul is no longer willing to put up with manipulation. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not manipulating itself anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because this is passive aggressive too over here. You know, it's like where someone says something, it seems nice, but it's actually like really cutting. That's what makes it confusing sometimes. Is like a person may be like, wait, they just said that so nice, but they just said something so mean. Like, and it's, you know, again, I heard it is confusing. So you got to watch people like that. Maybe what some of you are doing is releasing this, again, this energy, because you could very well be on a whole new, like, again, like a whole new path with something. So actually, during the Scorpio season, why don't we take all this fire, because this is a color of maturity here too, this maroon, and why don't we take whatever, this could be, this has more air in it. So this is mental, or like what the way people say things, communication, things like that. Maybe some of you have to burn like old diaries, or like old letters from exes, or things, physical objects, maybe something, maybe you need to write a letter to something and burn it. You know what I mean? Being like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to be connected to this kind of energy anymore. I want to be released from this. Because even if it's around you, I suppose there's something, at least in the beginning stages, this is something that it's always showing us who we are, right? Now, point is that a person's becoming a whole new person. And they're like trying to transform energy. I'm glad that we just put that away. You know, whatever that was. Because, again, did you see how much energy we were giving to that? And I mean, I guess that's the point, is like a person, it wasn't making me feel like this needed to be afraid of its purpose, or like of what was happening here, because this is actually very mellow, right? That was very aggressive. This isn't passive. It's just mellow. And actually, if there are any things that you are doing, that you are planning, I almost feel like maybe you don't want to share it with people right now. Not to be secretive, but to be selective. To be selective in what the plans really are. Once things are set in motion, once things are like signed on the dotted line, it is distinctively like people feel confident about that. There's been more, you know, you're more than halfway there. Again, the decisions and contracts have been like signed. Then maybe you could share, and then you'd also know like who's supposed to, maybe there's certain people you need to beware of. Because I do feel like there's somebody here that doesn't want something over here. This energy doesn't want someone to succeed. But I heard, I'm sick of that bullshit. So that shows me another Taurus Scorpio energy. Meaning, I guess a person got over their own bullshit to be able to be this chill too. So then we have 9 of Cups, right? Someone can see now there's such an amazing opportunity. You know, and maybe that was a part of it. I mean, this could have been what came before this happened. But I feel like even if that was the case, then this is still on the edge. And even if that person isn't literally still here, then the conversation or like the mind remembers things. So that's why there needs to be, like, I heard a cleansing of something. And I would say that it would be wise to make sure that your perception is based in reality and not just on illusion. Because the thing is like, I don't think this is something, again, that someone has not known, or like, whether, again, how do I explain this? This isn't something new, this energy. This is not something new. It's something old. It's like where a person, for instance, always, you got to remember, people are always saying who it is that they are. Okay? People are generally always showing us who they are. So you want to believe with that 7 of Cups, you want to believe what you see. And maybe it took somebody a long time to see who you could really be. Do you know what I mean? Or like who you could really create with, where you could, and how you could move into these other parts of you and like see life in a different way. Because there is some kind of new perspective here on this situation. On both of these situations, actually. So yeah, if you're planning anything, it's all good. It's all good. And it has something deeply to do with your purpose. Who are you creating with? Because I feel like what I saw being created wasn't something that could be done alone exactly. It took other people to be there, and maybe that's why it's important who you are creating with, because there may be people in the midst, 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords, and the Fool, that are no longer like suiting. And again, if they're not here anymore, it's still there, that hard situation in relation to it that maybe told you, I don't know, that you couldn't do something. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have a way out, or you don't have, like, because I could see this energy again where it's like, tries to make a person feel like, no, you can't do that. It's a stupid idea. All that kind of stuff. And it's not. It's not a stupid idea. I actually saw what someone was trying to build. I mean, it took a lot. And there are definitely means to looking at this from different perspectives before commencing, ultimately, physically. But you're on the path already. It's where, because with purpose, it's like that is where, right, you're on the path. So I heard, don't try to drag demons along with you, okay? No, let them just fade into the past. Okay, who you want to take, who and what you want to take with you, especially in ways of mentality, people, whatever, energy, is that which is like, oh, look at this eclipse energy. Interesting. It's, because I heard some of you were a leader and you don't even know it. And wherever it is you will be going, again, it is well there. it's like you're going to have signs or symbols that also help you to realize where you're supposed to be going. And that would be upward and forward versus backwards and off the path. Okay, look at this Four of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Maybe some of you are trying to like create something that's like a whole new life, you know, or a whole new level of life. It's definitely a new energy too, because remember, all the fire over here was frictional. Now this fire is very positive, right? It's about vitality, and it's about celebration, and it's about home and marriage and commitment. You know what I mean? Yes, it's about working together for the common goal. And I guess there are some things fading into the background, and in that sense, I guess with the Death card, just be conscious of that. Yes, look at this. It's like things are just fading into the background, so just be conscious of that. Try not to focus on that part. Focus more of where you are right now, and especially the language around things. How you're thinking about it, how you're talking about it, how other people are talking to you. Okay? Yes, Page of Swords. And maybe for some, to really figure out, if you're curious, then this would be I heard a deep listen is going to help you to figure out what is peaceful or not. Like, you'll feel it in your body. You know what I mean? You'll realize, like, okay, is this going the way that I'm going? Is this well? Do I feel, right? We said this is so peaceful, right? It's like, do I feel at peace with that? Yes. There's a very high emotional maturity here, and maybe that's a part of it. Is, again, there's a little bit of sensitivity with this baby blue energy. So there's something about blackbirds and spring. I heard no one can trap you in anything. Nothing can trap you in anything. Interesting. All right. Whoa. Let's do 4747 for the third one. Wow. Okay. We're actually going to start at 48. Hi. Hi, Purple. All right. Wow. Can you give me a second just to shake out like, I just want to shake out what I just was working with, because it wasn't exactly heavy, but it was enough that I can like feel it in my body. And as we're tapping into new energy, a new portion, then we want to make sure we're clear there, right? Clear as a bell. I feel like that's a theme in this reading. All right, are we ready? No, not yet. Just a second. Okay, now we're ready. So, magic. Very good. It's like a purple pink color. Magic. Let's put that there. It's our second card. Pick from the bottom, you got it. Okay, so look at this character, Seven of Pentacles, looking over at magic. It's very interesting. So we can feel, things can be felt in between places now, right? It's like there's new layers to things. So I'm starting to become a lot more creative with something. Oh, marriage. Yes, there's a much deeper connection in relation to something. Oh, the aspirant. Wow. So this card represents ambition, diligence, as well as setbacks. That happens when we're learning, right? We can only learn so much. Look at someone's about to gain a gift. Moments. Under the stars. Wow, what? In moderation. Just a second. What interesting cards. How's that? So we must moderate magic. Okay, right? It's like I just saw a faucet, like full blast. There's no need to do, I heard there's no need to do dishes like that. What you need is a sponge, and you need soap, and you just need a little bit of water. And then if you mix all three of those together, then you can clean a lot, right? You can clean a lot with just that small amount. So this is about conservation. Maybe that's a part of the setback for some folks, is there may be something where the ambition, so the ambition is quite big, right? Now, magic is a talent, right? I just saw someone pull a rabbit out of a hat. Any kind of thing that we want to learn so that it always is the result of what we want it to be takes time, right? That takes time, and we have to practice. Just because we do it once doesn't mean that right, if we bake one cake, that does not make us a baker, right? We have to practice. We have to go down that road many, many times, and I just saw like a spiraling road, right? But it's like it's spiraled like this, like up and out. So in essence, you're still connecting to that which was before. Ace of Swords. There's the Seven of Pentacles twice now. Someone has really raw magic with something. Like someone's very powerful. This could be one of those things where like a talent or like an ability kind of comes out of nowhere. And that's why also it needs to be moderated, because I heard it's like a child with a chainsaw, right? Got to be supervised in a way. You have to be you have to practice slowly. You got to get to know the tools that are being used before they all combine, and figuring out how they can combine, and then practicing some really simple things. Because to go full bore, where like the ambition is not moderated, then this would be magic that it's where a person would be like, oh, I want to do that because I want to do that. And they forget that the ability or the tool in and of itself comes from God, right? All things are possible with you, right? And under the stars, moments in marriage. Maybe someone proposed. There's some kind of, there must have been something that lined up. Right? Yes, yes, yes. Something lined up. I'm seeing like Venus and Neptune. So this is some kind of like heart chakra attunement. This is also creative energy. Very creative. It's like a person's like, I want to create this, right? This could be this magical energy. It's like, I've been creating this. I've been practicing this. I've been trying these different things. And I feel like if you're a person that always feels like, well, how do I see it? It's like, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. There's just a lot of messages coming through at once. Just a minute, please. Well, I heard someone say, thank you so much. Thank you. These two keys are also really grabbing my eye. Is that hard to see? Yeah, these two keys. So maybe something about keys. So again, let's try to go in order this way, because we sort of started with magic and then worked, then jumped. Because this is kind of what, it's almost like this is the water under the bridge. And I almost feel like under the stars, moments in marriage, I feel like, again, something had to have aligned. This is astrologically, it could just be some kind of timing here. Finally all lined up. You know what I mean? Like everything lined up, and it created, again, oh, I didn't see this before, but this is kind of that trifecta too, right? Like soap, sponge, a little bit of water. So much can be done with this, right? It seems simple. But like, what happens when you have clean dishes? Well, you can create a beautiful meal. But this is one of those things that you have to clean up more regularly. Like the more you use it, right? Like in the beginning of this reading, we were like, oh, we just did something. Let's clean that off. We got to clean this up. Give ourselves some space and then go, and then, oh, we got to go back into it. Okay, and we're going to clean it. We're going to clean again. Right? And that's kind of part of this magic that needs to be known, and that goes in this to moderate something, because when it's moderated, it means a person's paying attention to the levels of something, right? They're paying attention to the battery of something. They're paying attention to the energy of something, and like, okay, there's this much milk left. Oh, there's 10% left on the battery. It's being conscious of that. Again, the levels of something. Because I could see at a time that somebody told, like, God or whoever you talk to, somebody was just like, it's almost like they gave up at some point or another. Maybe someone gave up on the magic of life in some way. It's like they got really lost at some point. Maybe they lost faith in love, or they lost faith in like the destiny of things. Like they didn't understand that they played a creative role in the situation. But for whatever reason or another, again, someone had done a lot of dishes here. They really cleaned up. They cleaned up what they take in. They cleaned up things in their body. There's the devil. Yes. Like really, like released a lot of energy. Yeah, 8 of Cups, 10 of Wands. Yeah, released a lot of, this is emotional and emotional blockages, right? Ace of Swords. Okay, so there's also a bit of humble energy here too, like humbling energy. Maybe that's why a person's not supposed to push too much, because if a person just did whatever they wanted whenever they wanted, it would kind of like backfire a little bit. You know? It would backfire. And so and I could see where some people, this could also be this, the way this card's looking down at magic. I guess there's a, I don't know, it's not a warning exactly, but it's kind of like if this is sort of destiny over here, right? There again, there's this great timing to something, right? There's an ambition, but then there's diligence and there's setbacks, which means it isn't going to all come at once, right? These moments under the stars, like it all comes at the right time. You know, it all comes as it should. But I guess some things had to also leave too. So the point is that if someone's trying to manifest, quote unquote, something, if you're trying to physically, whoever's trying to do a lot of manifestation, if you will, like say this has to do with the physical world, like, oh, I'm gonna pray on this moon to get this so that this physical thing happens. It's like, it's not to say a person can't ask spirit to help with the physical things, but to moderate that is important, because there's something about it that like will cause this triangle to kind of, it's like didn't we talk about this recently, like something will end up just being greasy. You know what I mean? It's like the cup's never clean. It's never quite clean. You could keep washing it. It doesn't quite exactly do it. And it's because it just may not be the right timing for something. So if there's something, again, you have been trying to manifest, I heard you can still put, what am I saying? Like a person, I guess, will still put energy towards that. We have King of Cups, which is this, I'm seeing this as like a connection to spirit. And then we have the Four of Wands. So, what am I seeing? This is me, I'm seeing the dawn. I'm seeing the dawn. Yes, there's like light. There's light in that space. There's a lot of bright light into something. So maybe it's less of for some, it would be less of trying to create something physically, because this could be one of those things where a person wants to use magic to try to create something physical. It's a little bit strange. Strength. Hold on, I was holding my breath. I feel like this was also a theme, but this Seven of Pentacles is usually an it's just one person on a card. It is in this one too. Stars, there are many of them. There are two hands here. There are two keys here. This marriage card, there are two rings. There are two roses. Moments are plural. Like this is all multiple. Do you know what I mean? It's connective. It's where these different elements, again, are working together. This is very independent. So maybe that is also something that could help a person feel more magical or more power. If we take magic as power, I guess, meaning, because what is magic through the, well, I guess this is a question for you. What is, like, what is magical in the physical world for you? What is it when you see it, when you smell it, when you touch it, when you hear it? You are like, it hits in your soul. Do you know what I mean? It like, You can feel it in your bones. Like, it's what is that to you? Because that's more of the conversation that's being wanted versus trying to create something in the physical world. It's finding magic in the physical world already as it is instead of trying to change it. Does that make sense? It took us a second to get there. Yes, Tower. Now, the question originally was, the intention somewhat was, well, this pile's about magic, right? Something magical, which in essence seems miraculous, right? It seems something like, oh, this is connected very much to spirit. This is kind of unexplainable. Hierophant, right? It is something that we don't even realize where that information comes from sometimes, right? Or like where, like how something is known, you know, at some point we've come to, I'm seeing someone coming to a point of deep understanding about something, which actually gives them a lot of spiritual strength. Now, I suppose one way to feel stronger about yourself as an individual is, I feel like this card is showing me a lot about diet. There's meat and vegetables and fruit. I see there's fish here, like things from the water like that. I also see sprinkles, little sprinkles that go in ice cream. So it's kind of like, maybe that's also some kind of moderation of diet. Or again, what that may actually help a lot. You know, say you eat a lot of meat, well then maybe it would be, you know, it's interesting to go into such practical nature when it comes to spirit, but that's also a very beautiful equation, right, for creating this life. If you eat if you're doing a lot of one thing, try the other thing, right? If your body, this is also very much listening to your body. Say your body's like, oh my God, my head hurts. It's like, well then, why could that be? Are you dehydrated? Right? I guess, is Mars in a certain position? What have you been eating? Right? Do you need to rest? You know, maybe some of you need iron. This could also be someone that's works a lot, and they have to, again, wherever they're putting their energy, they do it a lot, and you have to temper that because, well, I guess other people also need you too over here. And actually, some of you may just be working on your own self a lot, like you've been kind of, maybe you've been moderating your connections with other people to a certain extent. You know, like pile number 2 talked about that, where they had to learn this, or that was very prevalent in their reading. This is where kind of a person has, in a sense, learned to moderate more of what, like who they're around. Now it's more of what a person does with themselves when they're alone. Once that's, I heard, known, then what happens is it almost wants you to, I feel like this shifts. Because some of you have been divorced before, right? Or like you had these strong kind of other kind of human connections, but there were things about it that were, I don't know if some of you gave that back, right? Changed the dynamic of that. But I guess Spirit's also suggesting, well, I mean, with this marriage card, literally, some of you could be very much preparing for a relationship with other people. So maybe it's also like about your confidence as an individual as well. Interesting. Because you know what? I heard you're always magical. Like you're never without magic. That's also something to know. You're never without spirit. You're never like, think about your body, right? How all the muscles move and like how you breathe and our ability. Listen, we've been having this discussion for 1 hour, 9 minutes and 55 seconds. I haven't been thinking about speaking. You know, it's just kind of happening. So the flow of things, Six of Pentacles. So maybe some of you are starting to remember like your voice, or like remember, maybe some of you are trying to remember who you are, you know, or who you were. But I feel like it's more important. How do I see this? Six of Swords. It's about where maybe it's about where you are right now. Did we say that? Where it's less about like trying to like ultimately create something. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I'm going back feeling the need to correct something because I'm remembering, like, there's nothing wrong with trying to have in this physical reality. Some of you don't need to not feel guilty about that. You know, but why we want to create something, why and where we put our energy and what the intention is behind that matters, because there is a timing for things, you know. And maybe some of you, you've always had some kind of ability that you've been wondering, like, am I really good at that? Like, should I even put effort towards that? Because I feel like, yes, if this is something that, because with this moderation card, it has to be balanced some way, somehow. You know, just like a marriage. Just like the stars to the earth. It's like, just like time, right? We have day and we have night. It's like this balanced energy. If we have that, then it creates a bridge into, it creates a bridge which brings us to the next step of something. Because marriage is a commitment. Marriage is where something conjoins. You know, it's together, right? It's not separated anymore. It's not separated anymore. No, it's together. Some of you don't know how magical you really are. Devil. No, it's like you don't believe in it. And you know what? If you're curious about the physical world, if you do want that, because I heard you're allowed to have that, I feel like your physical world will become more solid the more you, well, firstly, believe in yourself. Take care of yourself again in these really basic ways. Your teeth, your bones. This is very Saturnian. Your food. Because sometimes with Seven of Pentacles, it's like, should I quit? You know, am I supposed to continue? And it's like, this is ambition and diligence, which seem positive to me. It's with the Six of Pentacles. There's some setbacks with that. But I think whenever you have a setback with something, is actually because it just needs to be moderated. There's Six of Swords. It just something needs to be moderated or balanced a bit more, because something's hanging too heavy. I heard the fruit's hanging too heavy on one side of the tree, right? It's like you want both the horses and the chariot. You want the tires to be aligned, right? For things to be going the same way. And interesting. Yeah, someone may be questioning their own value, but they really don't need to. And anyone who's given up on love and ways of romance, Hanged Man, I feel like you're moving out of that energy. And it's coming more, because marriage to me is where it is fair, it is accepted by both sides, it is understood on both sides, it's clear, it's honest, you know, it works together. It feels, this is something feels very destined to me. Yeah, Queen of Wands, Page of Pentacles, and Two of Cups. So somebody's been really working on their own power. Very much so. Like working on themselves. Like, who am I? What can I create? But I heard, please remember to find that in the very little things that already exist as well. And then what happens is we have Two of Cups, which again, it emphasizes this connection energy. And this is emotional, you know, and it's warm water. And if for some reason you're curious, you're like, I don't know what my magical power is, especially, well, if any of you are still here, it's like, if you're uncertain about what your magical ability is, maybe some of you, like, you could have your, I'm seeing this almost as like a chart now. Maybe you could have your chart read or something like that could help you to figure out more of, I don't know, what you're really good at. It doesn't have to necessarily do with your job, but it could also be like, you know, who, I don't know, I heard, who am I as a person? You know, who am I as a partner? Who am I as... What are my, I heard, what are my magical abilities in this way, right? This Queen of Wands to me can also be somebody that may be helpful in guiding a person, something of an example, again, that's helping... Well, it's helping a person to not feel alone. And I heard, and whatever your magic is, you don't have to tell anyone what that is. You know, some people are very practical. They don't see life like that. Marriage, magic. Well, interesting we said marriage. But really, like, it's sometimes it's just for you to know. Eight of Wands and the Empress, yeah. I mean, of course, whoever you're going to marry, whoever you're going to, whatever, that's a whole nother can of worms to, like... Well, this is a communication, again, of... A communication of creation. And look, I heard you're 70% the way there. So also don't give up on something. But maybe it's just about being good at this stage too. Because there's different levels again to the magic of it, right? If you skip to the next level, again, and we didn't temper ourselves, right? It was just up, 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 up. I feel like there's Saturn. It's kind of like we'd miss, and then the tower, it's like we'd forget the point. I just saw the Tower of Babel. You know, it's like, okay, no, we have ability, but we are not God. You know, sometimes it's just to be here and to be like, of course, sometimes a human is like, wow, look what I can do, or look what we can do. That's so beautiful. But it's also like, oh my God, stars. So we didn't create those. We don't even know how they really work. We've never touched them before. Like it's that finding the miraculousness in these kinds of things, I guess, helps with creativity a lot. 10 of Cups, right? And I heard with God, all things are possible. With faith, all things are possible, right? However you want to define that for you, you know? Interesting. Huh. All right, I guess that's that. Interesting cards together. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that was helpful. I feel like that one had a lot of layers. It's like I could feel how many different kinds of people were connecting. Like, you know, it depends who, I guess, does it, well, we don't have to get into that too much. We're going to leave it like this. I love you so much. I hope that was helpful. I appreciate your love and your support. I am so grateful for us to be able to connect and learn together. Thank you for releasing that which is no longer suiting to you. For being strong enough to change. Being kind enough to accept where you are. And to not give up. Alrighty. Guess that's that. Balance. Yes, it is time to rest. Alright, I thank you so much for being here. And I hope this was of service. Growth and strength and intuition. Creativity. Yeah. Such a pleasure to connect. Talk to you next time. Peace out.